Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you literally each and every day. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button, and of course, drop a like on the video as always. Joining me for the mashup as always, my partner in crime, our resident referee, Mark. How are we?
I'm good, cuz. How are you keeping? Good?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Good
You
weekend.
look great.
Enjoyed the football. Thanks very much. Feeling much better than I have been feeling. Our buddy Darren was away in Rome and he went to the Lazio game, Lazio versus Bologna.
No way.
Yeah, he had a good time at it, and he actually got a bet builder up in the game as well. And I think
Damn.
he won a couple of £100 as well. He was having points at it and all, and yeah, it looked
Nice
like he
one.
was having a good time until Bologna, of course, scored to win.
That was a
2-1.
draw, wasn't it? Or was it 2-1?
I think it finished 2-1 as far as I know. Yeah, I think it
No
finished
way.
2-1. Lazio lost 2-1. Yeah, Lazio looking more at the Champions League, no doubt.
I said there was some atmosphere back then. The Italians are bleeding mad, aren't they? Like
the only thing for us, it was a 11:30 kickoff, 12:30 over there, I think it was. So it was an early start. So
in the morning,
maybe not as boisterous as you would think. Yeah, Darren hit me up yesterday. I think about 10 o'clock, maybe even 9:30, and he was showing me the ticket. He was walking around the ground, all that kind of stuff. And I said at the end of the game, then I said to him, "You going around the back now for a bit of a knock with the ultras? Whip off, put the United jersey on, and all that kind of stuff." But no,
Jesus.
but he went to. Yeah, I think what he sent us, I think it was about 60 odd quid for the ticket. Not bad, like traveling.
That's all good, yeah.
Well, as always, the Monday mashup this season is sponsored by Hogan Elite Trophy. Here, Mark, give us the rundown. Let everyone know what the story is with it.
Yeah, lads, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Go over to Facebook, give us a like. Instagram, give us a follow, and we've the trophies for all occasions. I'm like I was saying last week, I'm absolutely booked out for May. I'm after getting a lady text me earlier on. She had the book for the 25th of May, and the venue's after changing because of the FA Cup final. So she's after getting it for the 26th of May, which is a Sunday. So it's now, the FA Cup's now available for the FA Cup final. So anyone out there interested, I know we won't know who's playing yet, but anyone out there interested, hit me up on socials or WhatsApp and stuff like that. So
absolutely. So don't forget to give Mark all your support over there and stuff like that as well. As I said, our sponsor for this season for the Monday mashup, Hogan Elite Trophy here. So if you need any info, contact Mark, contact me, whoever you want to email, follow, message, whatever it is, let us know and we'll put you in the right direction. Let's talk about our chat. Acers is in. Sheffield United have set a new Premier League record for most goals conceded after 25 games.
Mad.
After they lost 5-0 to Brighton. Yeah, absolutely mad. Helen's in. How are you? Welcome back. Glad to hear you're back podcasting, my friend. Brilliant stuff.
Done.
Hi, Mark. Absolutely.
Hello, Helen.
Acers is in. I seen this report earlier. Sky Germany reporting that Liverpool target and Bayer Leverkusen boss Xabi Alonso is the preferred person to succeed Thomas Tuchel. Well, of course he is. If Bayern Munich decide to part ways with the manager this summer, I think they're going to be parting ways with the manager way before this summer. Hence, that could go in our favour because I don't think Alonso will jump from Bayer Leverkusen then. Now, they could put in an interim manager. But I still think it's all to play for. Yeah, Solskjaer has been linked with the job today. Certainly would be an interesting candidate. But I'm still holding hope that Alonso will go to Liverpool. But we shall see what will happen there as it progresses. They're also considering Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, that would be interesting. Dare I say, a Frenchman managing a German team.
He's already broke Leverkusen hearts. Remember in Hampden Park that time?
That's right. Do it again? William's in. Big up William way. Hey, the lads. Good to see you there. Jack is in. Anfield Road TV, my man Jack. It's been a moment, Jack, between my holidays and COVID and you. I was sitting in bed actually.
Come on, the Tranmere.
This is a different Jack. This is Jack from Anfield Road TV. Yeah, not You'll Never Walk Alone 66 Jack. It's a different Jack. Yeah.
Liverpool Jacks is there?
Loads. But I was lying in bed last night and here I am nodding off. And at about, I think it was it 12:30? Jack might correct me in the chat if I'm wrong if he's there. Jack and Spider are live doing a review show of the weekend's action and all the latest news. I think it was a 11:30 or 12:30 last night now, unless I'm dreaming it, but I'm nearly sure
Fair
they were
play,
live
man.
last night. And
Fair play.
it's going live in all hours at the moment, so absolutely knocking it out of the park. Great stuff. Let me know, Jack, if I'm right there. But I'm nearly sure last night yourself and Spider were live really late. Acer's best menswear manager, formerly known.
Not anymore.
Morris is in, went to find the Jacks after the fuzzy gig last night and ended up in their dressing room. Fill you in when the Jameson wears off.
Go on, the Morris.
Nice,
I hope you had a good
nice.
And let us know how did Les Battersby get on in his wrestling debut? That was this last weekend as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that must have been this weekend just gone as well, because it coincided with the fuzzy gig.
Yeah.
I want to know, Morris, before you left the room, did you have to sign an NDA? Just saying. So let's see about that.
Did you see the boyos in Craven Cottage on Saturday?
Yeah.
The two wrestlers, was it Darby Allin and your man Orange Cassidy or something like that?
Yeah. David's in. Big up, David. Good evening, lads.
Sorry, Dave.
Hiya, Jack.
They look great.
Hi, Morris. Can Spurs and Everton Football Club hire someone for a 100-year lease? Absolutely. Looks quality, that Mark. He says, Alan, hope you are well, mate. I'm good, Jack. And Morris is in. Still not Ireland manager. It's getting close. We are going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about it, and it might not be everyone's flavour, but we will be talking about it.
I was telling Niall there, we'll talk about it in a while, but I was speaking to someone very close to the FAI there today, so yeah.
Yeah, saying that as well. Bale being let go as well, wasn't he, today?
After
12 games, was it?
12 games, 7 defeats. The fans didn't really take to him either. They never should have got rid of Tony Mowbray in the first place. And could Wazza go in at Sunderland and do a job?
He could if he's not deciding to go boxing.
Yeah, him and KSI.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack's back in. Schedule is up the gaff, lad. It sure is. I was shocked, man. I couldn't believe it, but fair play to you. Fair play. Can Zidane take the Irish job? Absolutely not. We couldn't afford his
football manager, maybe.
Yeah. What's the resident referee's thoughts on Clattenburg signing for Forest?
Ridiculous.
There you go.
Absolutely ridiculous, cuz.
Spider, I've no soul. Big up, Spider. How are you, my friend? I was really enjoying Spiders. I had really, really good fun on Spiders watch along on Saturday. It was good crack. We were giving it socks in the chat and stuff like that. Great fun. Big up, Spider. Great job on Saturday. I didn't make Les because I got a free VIP ticket for Fuzzy. You didn't go to see Les Battersby's pro wrestling debut because you had a VIP ticket for Fuzzy. Good Lord, Morris. You've sold your soul. Sold your soul. Morris, did you smash up the dressing room with a baseball bat?
I'm very disappointed in you now.
There you go. No NDA signed. Ollie for the Ireland job.
No.
Could happen. John Aldridge for the Irish job. John Aldridge is he's coming up, isn't he managing the Liverpool Legends? Can you imagine?
Him and Sven be there.
Evening, lads. What's the crack? Big up, Baz. How are you? Spider. Lads, can anyone translate Dubish?
You give us what you want translated and we'll do it for you, Spider. No problem.
We get it done, Spider. Not a problem at all.
Talking to Corey, spoilers in the chat. Happy days.
There you go. Sunderland want Roy Keane back. Are they mental? Mental?
Keane won't go back into management.
You want the snake boy
there with the football.
Snake boy.
Jesus Christ.
Snake boy. There's a throwback now, isn't it? Last time I had Snake Boy, I'll tell you the last time I had a Snake Boy, right? I was over with an old skill mate of mine, Graham Hurley, was living over in the UK. He was living in London. And this was back in our clubbing days. And he invited us over a weekend. There was a big college thing going on. And we went over and we had Snake Boys in the college. And we ended up in Elephant and Castle in the Ministry of Sound. Carl Potts was doing a gig there. Yeah, this was kind of mid-90s now. And talking about reenacting train spotting, my God, it was full on. It was full on that weekend.
Last time I heard Snakebite was on that program on Channel 4, Benefit Britain.
Oh yeah,
he was drinking in the pub and all, like on a Wednesday
sometimes
morning.
When you see those TikTok videos and they show like that typical British pub, and like you have the guy at the jukebox and your woman in the middle of the floor dancing, all like when every time I see them, I think of Snakebite as well. Absolutely, Spider. All we were short was the L fizzy pop. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
soda stream. You need a soda stream.
Absolutely. 100%. At least Lennon is out of the running. Yeah, was he ever in it?
100% Morris, 100%.
Nah, jobber. Not getting steam till I hit Wembley Way on Sunday. Whoop. Oh, enjoy, man. Enjoy. Make sure, do a lot of videos, produce a lot. I tell you, I did love Spider gave a walk around for that new hospitality section in the new stand last week or the week before, and it looked amazing, man. Mixing it with the prawn sambo brigade he was. There was champagne and all flown. There was fuzzball. There was all sorts in this thing and all.
Happy days. Listen, Liverpool won't be the only pill going to Wembley. It's all about Blackpool beating Peterborough tomorrow in the semi-final.
All the real fans were out in the seats, freezing cold and stuff like that. Spider sipping on the champagne. Liverpool medical department overflown. Forget about it. Overflown. My God, to say the least, it's a disaster at the moment. Well, that's Kev sorted. Who's next? Only way I could own season tickets. Yeah, no, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Spoiler and the boys spent a fair little wedge getting hospitality tickets.
You have to do it once every while, don't you? Like once in a lifetime thing.
Beckham the Presidents. Love it. Right, let's get into this review of the weekend's action. And no better place to start but Liverpool. Brentford 1, Liverpool 4. I don't know if you caught this game, but this seemed to be a game where it's the first time I think I can remember where I see Brentford getting so dominated at home. They were really, really dominated. Liverpool put on a clinic, even with those injuries aside. Nunez getting on the score sheet with a beautiful chip. McAllister with a lovely finish. Salah, of course, and Gakpo and Tony picking up a goal. We kind of went a little bit of sleep. Quavin unlucky, did really well in nets. Saved the first one, was very unlucky for the second one.
He put on some good saves. Oh, there's Jurgen.
Every Monday podcast, and they never know, yeah.
Jurgen ringing now. I did actually catch it. I did actually catch it, and the only reason I did is because I was watching the Thursday Tier Talk, and he's reminding me what time kickoff was on Saturday morning. What was it again?
12:30.
Your favourite. No, listen, great.
We're here. I'm not going to complain. We're starting to like them. Like them.
But obviously, Salah coming off the bench and stuff, didn't he get an assist as well and stuff like that? And then obviously, I think he tweaked a hamstring. Was it towards the end? Or just
right at the end, he tweaked his hamstring again. Yeah, so he's probably looks like he's going to miss the Luton game, and hopefully, fingers crossed, be back for the cup final because we're getting really short on numbers at this stage.
Like, in fairness, she's better the storm. Like when Brentford pick up a bit of momentum, especially at home, they can be very difficult to play against. And he did very well 4-1, and obviously gives you a bit of confidence going into Luton. Is that Tuesday or Wednesday? Is it?
Wednesday we play Luton, then Sunday the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, Carabao Cup. Now, maybe, do you reckon Klopp might have one eye on Sunday? Well, not that he just can't rest anyone because everyone seems to be injured, but he might just throw one eye on Sunday and make a few changes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's been an interesting dilemma. I think the changes are forced anyway, so I don't think he's any choice. But I think he'll play his strongest side anyway, because I think like we're top of the league at the moment as well, and I don't think you want to be endangering that in any way for the sake of a Carabao Cup. You know what I mean?
So I mean, it's the teams around you and stuff like that.
Keep the pressure on both, and because we're playing on Wednesday, we're not playing again till Sunday. So there's a good 4 days there of rest as well. You know what I mean? So, and we're at home against Luton on Wednesday as well, so it shouldn't be a problem. Just fingers crossed we pick up no more injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get a few of the boys back, potentially Nunez and Salah at least for Sunday. So if that's the case, then we should be okay. We'll see what happens. Next up, Burnley 0, Arsenal 5. Vincent Kompany still in trouble.
Do you know what? I watched it here on Saturday, and I have to say, Declan Rice again. He's just all over the pitch. Every position they look, he's there. You know, he's in front of the back four, picking the ball up and starting attacks and stuff like that. But they just shocked Burnley. They just went at them. Burnley looked like they were on the kick-outs, taking a break and stuff like that. They just didn't seem to get into it at all, you know. And especially, you're coming to the back end of the season now where managers probably don't look at other results, but at the minute now you're coming to the back end where not only you're worried about your own results, you're looking at other results around you as well. So there's a hell of a lot of pressure on Kompany coming into next weekend. I know, because I think Sheffield United are playing Wolves on Super Sunday or something like that, aren't they, next week? Well, Super Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. So But yeah, another fantastic performance by Arsenal. I said it when they went 1-0 up. I was texting Dano and Craig, and I said this could be 4 or 5-0, and it turned out to be,
Yeah, and I think what's impressive about them as well is the fact that you're getting goals from all around the pitch. And if the
Yeah.
boys, even the central defenders are, chumping in with goals as well at the moment and stuff like that. But it's goals coming from everywhere, which is very encouraging for Arsenal, rather than Saka being that guy or Martinelli being that guy or whoever it is. And Trossard now getting a run in the team now with Jesus being out and stuff like that is reaping benefits as well. We know how good Trossard is, especially me as a Liverpool fan. I know how good Trossard is.
And ourselves with even Brighton. But you look at it, Burnley, I was looking at them from set pieces. They tried a zone of marking, and there's stages where you're looking at it going, lads, you have Saliba and Gabriel coming up, big lads. You've got the likes of Saka hanging, if he's not taking the corners. Declan Rice has seemed to start taking corners the last few games and stuff like that. So Saka tends to hang around the edge of the box, but there's zone of marking, and you're like, lads, for a team, when you're playing Chelsea, or Chelsea, Arsenal, kind of Newcastle, whoever, don't be zoning. Just go man for man. Go old school. Do you know what I mean? This zone of market, especially a Burnley team, they can't do it. And it costs them on Saturday again.
Yeah, I think the problem is once they cop up a goal or two, they really, really struggle, you know what I mean? Just the heads drop big time and stuff, So I think that's part of it as well. And as Morris said, why is he protected so much? Because he plays nice football, Morris.
He tries to. He doesn't have the players. They're a championship team playing in the Premier League. And listen, you can applaud them all you like and say, yeah, listen, at the end of the day, Dyche's done a better job there stopping people from playing football instead of trying to go get on them on the front row. Because it hasn't worked for them.
I suppose sticking to your football style. There's a lot to be encouraged about that maybe for the first 5 or 6 games. But if you're not putting points on the board, then you better have a plan B. And it doesn't look like there's a plan B at Burnley. And I think that's going to be a problem. And I think they're going to get detached now very quickly. They look like they're detached already. And I think what the likes of Burnley and Sheffield United are hoping out for is that this Everton situation and Forest situation gets triggered. And then it might put them in with more of a chance and stuff like that. But I think they're heavily relying on that.
I think the American owners have very, very good patience, because I thought you would have been gone around Christmas mark anyway,
Yeah, absolutely. Who was your man? I seen it at the Super Bowl. It's JJ Watts, isn't it? Is it JJ Watts who's bought it? Yeah, JJ Watts. Interesting.
Him and a few 2 other lads are involved as well. 2 of his close buddies.
Absolutely. It's bad for company when Havertz is shushing the crowd. Yeah, absolutely. It is bad when Havertz is shushing the crowd, isn't it? Next up, Fulham 1, Aston Villa 2. 2 goals for Watkins and a goal for Muniz.
Yeah, Muniz on the score sheet again. I thought Fulham started this fairly well. I thought they started fairly bright. Then a mistake at the back and allows the man at the moment, Ollie Watkins, to pop in and score. And you felt for Fulham then, because it was all kind of Villa attacking. And you're damn right, Will. You're damn right. And then, obviously they go 2-0 up after half time. But then, like, Fulham scored, Muniz again. I think, is that his 3rd goal in 2 games or something like that? It gives Fulham a little bit of hope. But, like, after that, Martinez pulled off 1 or 2 saves, but Villa looked more threatening, hitting the bar and stuff. So, listen, great away victory for Villa. We know how hard it is going to Craven Cottage and picking up points. So, and they've a tough few games coming up as well, Villa. So, it was a much needed 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Will is in. Big up, Will. All right, the lads. Best shop gone downhill. He's looking for that discount on that suit. You see, your public figure.
I can still get you. Well, I'll still get you. But yeah. So listen. Villa have to keep winning these games to put pressure on the teams around them, the likes of ourselves and Spurs and Newcastle and stuff like that. So, like I said, a really, really good win.
Yeah, absolutely. Newcastle 2, Bournemouth 2.
Yeah, it was a mad game, wasn't it? Obviously Bournemouth slip by the goalkeeper and the man who hasn't really been of too much form lately, Solanke, he'd been banging in the goals in January and December and stuff. But he's found it difficult the last few games, and it was a mistake by the goalkeeper, and it was an easy finish from him. I think it's something that he needed for his confidence. You could see it dejected the Newcastle crowd and stuff like that as well, and they found it kind of hard to get back into it. But Bournemouth have been their bogey team. Remember them down in the Vitality Stadium as well, and at the end of that game, Trippier going over to the fans and explained they had injuries and stuff like that before I think that was the international break in October or November or something like that. They played them, but yeah, listen, they got back into it, and it was when they scored the equaliser in the 90-odd minute. Obviously, St James's Park erupted, and I felt they were going to go on and get a winner, that sort of way. So, but Bournemouth be happy with it taking a point there. I know they took the lead twice, but they'd be still happy to come away with a point, especially after some of the previous results.
Newcastle over the last month have really been on this roller coaster ride of how out, how in, how out, how in, and even during games, it's mad where they want them gone, and suddenly they get a draw, they get a late win, and all of a sudden he's grand again. It's gone a little bit fickle, as they say, and obviously things going on in the background there. Dan Ashworth as well, probably on his way to United by the looks of things and stuff. And also,
listen, you'd have to be living on Mars not to realise that Eddie Howe is done a fantastic job with Newcastle, and given the new owners came in, everyone thought he was going to get this, that, and the other to spend, and it hasn't been the case really. He's invested fairly wisely, But I think he's done a really good job there. Everyone's just been waiting for Newcastle to take the next step, and who's the manager going to lead them into that next position. But I think it's great to qualify for the Champions League and all, but I think it has hampered their season as well and their results. They put a lot of energy into those big games in the groups and in the group stages of the Champions League against the bigger teams that they played against. So I think that has hampered their season a bit, but there's no denying.
I think they were blighted with injuries as well. And in fairness, that kind of 5 week, was it about a 5 week period where they were literally playing the same 11 every week? Hampered them as well. So those guys are probably feeling it now at this stage,
So you look at the likes of Callum Wilson. How long is he going to be out for now? Isaac has had his injuries and stuff like that. Gordon was missing as well for a good while and stuff like that. So they have missed.
Barnes is only back.
Exactly.
Isaac has been in and out,
They've missed, and obviously Nick Pope is he was very unlucky with that injury he got. So they have been unlucky with injuries and stuff like that as well, So I suppose when you look at it, and they're still thereabouts for the run in the top 6 and the Champions League, then the top 4 and stuff like that. You have to say fair play to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, spot on there, Spider. I think I'm in around that as well. Again, I don't think there's much of a choice really. I think it's fairly easy. We'll find out in the morning at the press conference when we find out who's available and where they're at and stuff like that. But I think for Wednesday, it practically picks itself. Lads, look up Endo versus Royce stats. Endo was smashing it, and Royce has been great. Absolutely, and it's interesting.
He's unreal, man.
Yeah, absolutely, and Endo, in fairness, is right up there with him as well. Just the thing about Endo as well, I think because of he's just not spoken about enough. But I think us as Liverpool fans, especially myself, Jack and Spider and all, and Henry, we've been talking about him. He's been remarkable. Like, he was brilliant up until going away to the Asian Cup, and since he's come back as well, he's just got stuck in again. He's an absolute terrier in there, fantastic. What's up next? Where have we got? Nottingham Forest 2, West Ham 0. West Ham's troubles continue.
Yeah, there's a big bounty on David Moyes' head, isn't there? There's I think they're playing, is it this day next week against Brentford, at home to Brentford on the Monday Night Football next week. So a lot of pressure going into that game. But again, fair play to Forest. They've done it against Newcastle last 2 Saturdays ago. Oh, Palace have just scored there. 1-0. 66 minute. They done it against Newcastle. They can open up teams with their pace and stuff like that, and they're difficult to play against. But like, I was expecting West Ham to pick up a draw here, especially after the previous results. Like I said last week, like 2 weeks ago when they played against us, I was expecting a hell of a lot more. Then obviously the big defeat to Arsenal last week, which no one probably seen coming. Obviously you might expect Arsenal to beat them, but not in the manner of which they did, So I was expecting a bit of a bounce back by West Ham, and it didn't come. And it's just adding the pressure onto David Moyes. And like I said, there's a big bounty on his head now.
Yeah, I think Calvin Phillips getting sent off as well and stuff like that and all. It's just the signs there just aren't good at the moment at all. A lot of those boys are playing way below their level. And the drop off from West Ham in the last, say, month or so has just been shocking, really. Since the game against Hughes was a real kind of surrender. They huffed and puffed, created a couple of chances, but it was such an easy day for you that should have been so much harder.
Like I said to you before, because when I was texting the day, I was watching with my Mars, a West Ham fan. I couldn't believe how easy it was for us 3-0, and you're looking going. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a draw, maybe.
Yeah. Acers, Fulham will get a result against United on Saturday. I don't know. We just don't see. You don't know what Fulham are going to show up. Fulham could show up and absolutely smash it out of the park. United
Acers,
are on a run at the moment.
I don't expect any less from Acers, though. He's not really going to say we're going to win.
Villa will get Europa League, I think. Interesting. Newcastle will get a draw against Arsenal on Saturday. No, they won't. And 1-0 Crystal Palace. Cheers for that. Absolutely. I think Klopp has to decide whether LFC's priorities lie for the rest of his tenure. Do you know what he has to do, Helen? And I'll just say it now. I think he just has to take it game by game and see what he has available. And as he said himself, so far we've been lucky when we've had an injury, we've had a suitable candidate that can come in and fill that spot and stuff like that. But now it's getting really, really tight in terms of who we have available and all. But I think for me, the priority is always the league. We're top of the league at the moment by 2 points. We're playing Luton at home on Wednesday. City dropping points, which we'll get into shortly and stuff like that. I wouldn't be messing around with any of that kind of prioritising all. I just take it game by game and just see how it all flushes out. But at the moment, we're teetering at the moment in terms of what we have available. Up next, we've got Tottenham 1, Wolves 2. This was quite a shock. I know Wolves have been playing well and doing very well, but Spurs again not doing themselves any favours.
Doing Spursy things, aren't they? You said, Wolves have been playing really well all season. Gary O'Neill hasn't playing a fine tune, and it's a really difficult place to go at times. We found that out over the years as United fans and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's just obviously Son coming back, you think, and they Madison back in there and stuff like that, and you're expecting them to go on the front row. And in fairness, was it Gomez that scored the 2 goals? I think for Wolves, wasn't it?
Gomez got both goals, yeah. Joe Gomez.
And he's only scored 2 goals previous for them or something like that, or 1 goal or something like that, But really, really good performance by Wolves. Spurs will be hoping. Who have they got next weekend? They're not playing Newcastle next weekend, are they?
I'm not too sure.
I was looking at it earlier. But
no,
as far as
I think City. Do City have Newcastle?
City could have Newcastle. I was looking at it earlier. They have a tricky game coming up, But they've gone on a little good run before that. No, sorry, they were meant to play Chelsea.
Yeah, that's postponed because of the Carabao Cup.
Because of the Carabao Cup, sorry, yeah. But
so Spurs' next game is against Crystal Palace.
Yeah. So you look at that, they have a few tough games coming up. Obviously, Palace will have the little kind of spring in their step with the new manager. Then you have Villa away, Fulham away, and then you've kind of Luton at home where you'd expect it, but Luton will make things difficult. So they have a few tricky games coming up as well. So that would have been a little dent in the road for them as well, because they, like I said, they'd have good. You look at before that, they bet Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle, and stuff. So yeah, no, it was a great win for Wolves.
Yeah. Absolutely. Spider, Endo's stats have been better, lads. That's what the weird thing is. Lauding right, but Endo getting flicker mentions. I love that, Spider. I don't want us mentioned at all. I want to keep us under the radar. I say it all the time. Just keep on getting on with our business, trying to get players back fit, try to give the gaffer options and all that kind of thing. Grind out results, points over performance all the time at the moment with the position that we're in. I don't care if no one's talking about us. We're talking about us and we're doing a great thing. Don't heap any extra pressure on us by people talking about. When people start talking about how great Endo's doing, that's when it falls away, So
and don't forget, Declan Rice gets spoken about, obviously, because he's an English international. So the English media are going to always hype him up, if someone's playing
it's
well.
It's fashionable to talk about the English players, and it's fashionable.
Exactly.
It always happens stuff like that. But I'm happy not to be spoken about, to be honest. Williams in. West Ham's fans calling for Moyes are crazy. He's earned enough credit in the bank to turn this around. It is getting close, though. He is running out of credit.
He has to win that Brentford game this day next week. He has to. Otherwise, I think he will be gone. But no, I definitely agree with you, Will. He has earned a lot of credit in the bank, given the first trophy in how many years. And, he's done a solid job there building a good core squad and stuff like that.
See, how many times have we seen when you win a trophy, then you raise the expectation? And then when the expectation is raised, then when that dips down underneath that and you don't perform. And remember, he lost Declan Rice. Let's not negate that fact and stuff like that. Kudus has come in. He started off pretty good, but he's a little bit hot and cold. Mikel Antonio, for me, offers them really nothing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I just think they're struggling all around. I think the Calvin Phillips thing is just stupid beyond belief. But yeah, that's it. Then we came to one of the games of the weekend. I think Man City versus Chelsea. I thought it was an absolute belter of a game. Yeah. Finished 1-1. I think Chelsea had a couple of nice counter-attack chances, but didn't take advantage of them. Obviously, the boy Jackson up front and stuff like that, he's just very hot and cold. Sterling getting the goal on 42. Rodri equalising on 83, but in fairness, City came at them. Haaland should have had at least 3 or 4. Yeah. How many headers did he even miss? Could have had a hat-trick of headers probably, but
100%.
Failed to do it, and they dropped points, which means them dropping points means that it's back in Liverpool's hands in terms of where we are in the league. They can't overtake us even by beating Brentford tomorrow night, potentially. So let's see what happens there. But it was a great result all around, both for ourselves and for Arsenal.
Definitely. Jackson actually played a good ball across to Sterling for the assist for the goal and stuff, and Sterling done well to go back in and a tidy little finish from him. He's gotten a lot of criticism this season, but
his link up play is better than his all round striking game.
Yeah,
his link up play is generally very good. He's strong in possession and stuff like that. Brings the play in and links up the play really, really well. Just kind of doesn't offer anything else kind of beyond that in terms of goals, which is what you need and stuff like that. From him, if he can add that to his game.
100%. I remember watching him against Bournemouth in the Vitality Stadium near the start of the season, and there's been so much talk about him. He reminded me of Nunes' performance against Luton. He was getting into all the right positions and this, that, and the other. He just couldn't finish his dinner.
I think with Onana, I think we've seen improvements over the last number of weeks, haven't we?
100%. He's got. Well, I've been very critical of Amazos, but he's most clean sheets in the Premier League now at this stage. I thought he did a decent enough game yesterday and the previous week against West Ham there a few weeks ago on Old Trafford as well. I thought he done very well, pulled off some good saves. Listen, I think if he does make a mistake, it's kind of like Harry Maguire. It's highlighted a lot more because the fans want to get at him, but I thought he's been solid enough.
Yeah, absolutely. West Ham, spot on, Spider. Yeah, they did start well and they were playing well. The likes of Bowen was playing well. All these different players, they were just kind of linking up. And even without Mikel Antonio, they were playing really, really well. But do you know what I noticed with West Ham as well? They were getting goals all around the park as well. And a number of people were chipping in. But that seems to have dried up. So it's a tough one for them. Sheffield United nailed into Sunday. Sheffield United nailed Brighton 5. What did you make of this kung fu style tackle, Holgate? Absolutely crazy.
I couldn't believe it. You're 12 minutes into a game. Don't like Holgate's an experienced lad. I think he's 26, 27. Played a lot of games for Everton, and he went on loan to Southampton and West Brom. But obviously with Sheffield United, excuse me, been in the position they're in. 12 minutes into the game, and he makes a challenge like that. Like that was
Pickford taught him that tackle. Pickford taught him that.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Like, I can get with the angle of the referee where he thought it was initially a yellow card. There was a few bodies in the way and stuff like that, but obviously VAR prevailed and the right decision was made. And I say he felt on his Toblerone in the dressing room at half time when the rest of the team came in, and because he let his team down big style. That's the fourth 5-0 defeat Sheffield United have had this season. That's the fourth 5-0 defeat they've had. Like, that is just an absolute disgrace. And not only that, you look at Burnley getting beaten the day beforehand. They know a point or even 3 points will take them off the bottom of the table. And for them to go out and do that, like fair play to Brighton. Brighton went at them. And I think the third goal was a fantastic finish. And I think Danny Welbeck scored as well and stuff like that. Fair play to Brighton for taking advantage. But Holgate should hold his head. Like, what are you doing? Like, it was just, that's assault on the street. Like, it was an absolute joke. He's let his team and his club down.
Yeah, I mean, not only were they calling for the ban in relation to the red card, but they're calling for further games because it's real violent conduct, really. And when you think about it, like, it's absolutely horrible. You know, A's in Luton should have gotten a draw yesterday. You must have been watching a different game to me then, because United could have been 3 or 4-0 up inside the first 10-12 minutes. And United also missed 2 one-on-ones. They did score 1 and they missed 2 one-on-ones as well. So I don't think I heard Rob Edwards was talking after the game and talking about the injury time and all this kind of and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, if United had been able to finish their dinner yesterday, they'd so many chances yesterday. Bruno missed a sitter, so many yesterday, you know what I mean? I think Luton put up a good fight against them and stuff like that, but I think if you cough up 2 goals that early in that kind of fashion, the first one was an absolute mare altogether. But if you cough up goals like that to United, you can't expect to get anything out of the game. And I think it's me being a Liverpool fan as well. I don't like saying this either, but it's unfair to turn around and talk about Luton and the draw yesterday, because United had a bunch of chances yesterday. Rashford, even if his decision making was a little bit better as well, he could have played in so many players yesterday.
Like we did, you look at it, you go 2-0 up after 12, 13 minutes or whatever it was. And I said to my dad beforehand, we just don't let Luton score first, because that place be rocking and you know, there'd be a lot of pressure on us. But to get the 2, but then it's like going the whole season, you're like, we can't kill off a game. I thought Bruno's passing was shocking in the first half. Absolute shocking. And then he has the cheek to give out to the likes of Garnacho and stuff like that. Who we thought had a decent enough game. Obviously, his decision making at times, you know, we should have squared it to Hoyland at one stage. But what I do like at him, he runs at defenders. He's not like Anthony. He's just where Anthony will do it, you know, he'll try a few step overs and a twirl, and Garnacho just runs at them. But like the Bruno chance 1-on-1, he should have scored a great block by the defender. Obviously Hoyland had a few chances as well, and like I said, Garnacho, but it was a great win. I understand where certain Luton fans were saying. Another thing as well, Bruno at the end, why didn't he run the ball into the corner? He turns in and takes a shot. The keeper gets it.
Both times. He had 2 corners. And on both of them he did it. Yeah, crazy. If Luton had gone up the other end and got an equaliser, there would have been a serious conversation to be had about that kind of game management. Crazy.
To me, sometimes he's a fruit and nutcase. You'd question him. And then he gives out to other people for losing the ball and stuff. And obviously Barkley hits the bar from a header in the last minute from a corner that led from that moment of play from their keeper,
counter,
you know.
The counter, yeah.
Just ridiculous. Absolutely. But listen, I'm delighted to get the win. It's a difficult place to go to, as many teams will know this season. And we have a tough game against Fulham on Saturday, so hopefully we can keep the momentum flowing into that. So
funny how Chelsea's game wasn't pulled forward like ours. Yeah, that is interesting as well, that they could have played both of them probably on the Wednesday, couldn't they, really? But do you know what it is, Spider, as well? I think our game isn't televised on Wednesday. Now, when you know, of course, if you want to watch it. But it's not televised on Wednesday, because this new thing is in there that if they change a fixture, that's a 3:00 fixture on the Saturday, the blackout. If they change that fixture and they pull it back to a midweek because of this situation, it still can't be televised, which I think is really stupid. I think you have a perfectly good game there, Liverpool versus Luton. You could put a few bob in Luton, you know, from TV rights and all that kind of stuff. It's a madness that they're not flexible in terms of adjusting this stuff. But hey, listen, do you know what I say as well, Spider? I know we're all concerned about injuries and how light we are at the moment somewhat, but I still firmly believe Liverpool play at their best when it's game after game and not as much training. So many of our players at the moment are getting injured in training. So I'd prefer if we didn't train and if we just recovered and played matches, to be honest. So yeah, I don't look. It is what it is. Look. They'll pour everything against us. It is what it is. Just to let you know, still 1-0. IU on 66, 82 minutes gone. Crystal Palace on the attack. United will lose against City and Liverpool and Arsenal to Thursday night football next season already confirmed. Interesting.
Ace is on a mad one tonight.
This on a mad one. Chelsea should have been out of sight first half. I think they had a couple of chances, but I think if you look at the number of chances that City created as well, Holland should have at least had a hat trick.
100%.
To miss
Didn't he
those
hit the bar
headers,
from a header as well, I think?
I think he did. Did he hit the bar or did he just float it over or something like that? But
I
mean, that one he missed right in the middle of the goal at the death or whatever it was. Like, how did he miss that? Like,
I think Acers needs to find himself that stuffed elephant, bring it for a picnic somewhere to cheer himself up.
I think it's going to be an interesting cup final anyway. I think when Liverpool and Chelsea get together, there is that kind of that chess match about it and stuff like that. All I'm doing is I'm just keeping my fingers crossed we come out of Wednesday all good. Hopefully we can get Salah and Nunez back for Sunday for the cup final. And the main thing I'm looking for is that I'm relying on the fact that Poch is a serial loser, and I hope that continues. That's the only thing. And let's be honest here, it wouldn't be like Poch to go and tinker with the team and mess around for a cup final and stuff like that anyway. So we shall see what happens.
Hopefully Nunez be on target. You won't be hitting those curly-whirly shots all over the place.
No bother, pal. Enjoy your rest and fair play. Good to see you back podcasting. Really good like that.
Good to have you back.
Cantona Kung Fu memories, absolutely. Cantona Kung Fu memories. Spider, dodgy box all the way. Dodgy box. You need to come into the real world now. The world of fire sticks is where it's at now. Not dodgy boxes. Everton have just scored.
We don't know anything about that, cuz.
No, I'm only talking about so I heard. Everton have just scored.
Yeah. Rumour has it. Yeah.
Rumour has it, yeah. Haven't seen who Everton the goal scorer is.
83rd minute. Who was it?
beIN Sports are showing City versus Brentford and Liverpool versus Luton. There you go, beIN Sports. Check Haaland versus Nunez. That's also for this season. Eye opener. Yeah, absolutely. When you match up some of them, it's really cool, Spider, because it really just goes to show. Onana with the goal back again. He's been scoring. He scored a few for the prior to getting injured, I think it was, wasn't it?
Good header from the corner, 6-yard box. Keeper comes for it. Onana just outjumps everyone. Great header.
But as I said, I love those comparisons that they do and stuff like that as well. They're really, really cool. And it's just, like I said, don't talk about us. Leave us alone. Let us get on with it. So 1-1. David's in. I hate the expected goal stat, but Haaland had 1.7 expected with no goals. New record, yeah. Absolutely. That's mad, isn't it? It's crazy. For a cube. There you go. When you know, don't you? Love it. Right, let's get into talking about Dan Ashford. Looks like he turned around and told Newcastle he wants to leave. I believe his laptop and computers were all seized. He was locked out of all that stuff. They've sent him out on gardening leave as he told Newcastle he wants to leave. I think Newcastle have slapped a 20 million price tag on this man to be released. I heard it was
10 million, but it could be 10, 20 million. Like, it's crazy, isn't it? Obviously, we all know what happens on gardening leave, locking him out. He knows what's happening behind the scenes at the club and stuff like that. But he's agreed that he wants to come to Manchester United, and he obviously done a good job at Brighton, doing a really good job at Newcastle there as well. And
yeah,
I think like you said, and I think Dazza said on the Thursday Tier Talk, they're starting in the right direction. They're starting at the top, and they're putting elements in place there that are going to be there. There's talking Jason Wilcox, who had done excellent stuff at the City Academy and stuff like that. So they're doing all the right things. Listen, they were talking about on Sky Sports 10 million for a lad that doesn't kick a ball or score goals is a lot of money, but I think it'd be a great investment.
Look, I often turn around and say, when you think about Liverpool and Liverpool's success under Jurgen Klopp and stuff like that, a lot of the foundation for that was laid by Michael Edwards. And people sometimes forget 100%. That as well. And I think what's really shown, especially when you look at United over the last decade, they've had money, they've bought players, they haven't had that real projected plan, direction from above that manager situation. Because I firmly believe if you have a top director of football in there and you have all those things in place there last season, you're not buying the likes of Anthony. You're not
No,
buying these type of players. Someone turns around, is going to turn around and go, actually, you're not getting him, Eric. He's not what we want. He doesn't fit the plan. And 90 million is ridiculous. And then you don't make those mistakes. So you would
no,
hope then when Ten Hag, when it comes around to this new budget in the summer and stuff like that, if you have all those people in the right positions, then you're going to get a better bang for your buck, but you're also going to get a better quality and you're less inclined to make
exactly.
mistakes.
Like
So really,
look at the deals Edwards got over the lines for you, and you probably didn't pay over 50 million for any of them. He was excellent for you. He was absolutely excellent. Like
yeah, I remember at the time, remember he sold Solanke to Bournemouth for 18 million. And everyone
that
at
was
the time I was going, this is unbelievable. And I
yeah,
think there was either there's a sell-on clause. I don't think there's a buyback clause. There's a sell-on clause as far as I know. And I was thinking, this is unbelievable. I remember even the deal he did. Remember the deal he did for Robbo and Kevin Stewart and all was involved. And he got we paid like 8 million, I think, for Robbo, but we got 6.5 or 7 million for Kevin Stewart.
that's
I
mad,
didn't
isn't it?
even hear him even mentioned again when he went there and stuff and all, So Edwards was unbelievable. And yeah, the only thing I'd say, Spider, is if we still have Michael Edwards, we'd never let him go. We just offer him more money. Because we've actually tried so many times to get him back. But yeah, unbelievable. It's like he doesn't fancy football, or at least he doesn't fancy football in his previous positions and stuff like that. He's looking for something different. And I think most of the clubs that have spoken to him have offered him a different thing. I think when United spoke to him, actually, they offered him a CEO job. It wasn't a director of football and stuff like that. But yeah, Edwards was unbelievable. It was 26 million, 31 million in the end. Robbo and Stewart were the Sky swap, 8 million either way in a day. Yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it? Was it 26 million, 31 in the end for Solanke? I didn't realize it was that big. I
That's
thought it
good
was in
money.
around. I thought maybe they paid 18 up front, was it? And then the rest was stagger payments. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, absolutely. What have you made of this? Apparently, this is done. Apparently, the talk is that this guy is on his way to Real Madrid, 5-year deal, and it is about to be announced. And that Madrid, apparently, it leaked today that Madrid apparently are working on promotional stuff for it,
I seen
and
that.
everything. But apparently, they've come out as well and said they also want Haaland.
He,
Can
the,
you imagine if they get him as well? Good Lord.
with no financial fair play in La Liga, so yeah, I seen it there earlier. Obviously, Arteta was trying to get him involved in the Arsenal conversation and stuff like that, and I was just laughing. There was never a chance he was coming to the Premier League, not with what's going on over here and stuff like that. But I definitely think he's a signing that La Liga need at the moment, because we're so used to seeing all the top names, play there for years and stuff like that. You always had the Ronaldo and Messi, and even going back further, you had Figo, Zidane, and further than that, you had Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Romario. We haven't had that the last few seasons, have we? Not looking at La Liga. Lewandowski's gone to Barcelona and stuff like that. Benzema left. There's Modric still at Madrid, but there's not one player there that you go, I'm going to tune into La Liga on ITV and have a look, So I think it's a really
Bellingham, I suppose.
well,
Bellingham, you tune into, wouldn't
Jude Bellingham
you?
to an
He's been
extent, yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah,
He
he's been
has, he
incredible.
has, apart from giving Mason Greenwood the old slag there on the pitch, but yeah, no,
Crazy.
I think it's much needed for the league rather than anything else either, because like I said, that interest in La Liga has kind of slipped a little bit, because they haven't really signed any of the big names, and there's a lot of focus on Saudi and stuff like that. So it'd be great to see him there, and obviously PSG will get be interesting to see how they invest the money they get for him as well. Who they're going to buy. Obviously, like Acer says there, Rashford has been linked with PSG. In fairness, I'd sell him. Unless they see him trying to press Ross Barkley. See that video from yesterday, they might change their mind. But I think it's a really good signing for Madrid.
That was terrible yesterday. That video of him jogging around like that at that stage in the game was just.
I think
He was
he
so
thought he was still in
switched
that.
off
He thought he was still in that nightclub in Belfast. I think at that stage.
and on a load of shots, I'd say. Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And do you know something? The one thing I want about this is I'd like this Mbappe situation tied down pretty quickly. If it's Real, just go to Real. It's done and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't want this to be the conversation for the whole summer. and everything else then gets overshadowed, because then it's very hard to kind of enjoy the transfer window, because just every headline of every day will be Mbappe closer to Madrid, still talk blah 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 and all that,
Yeah.
So get it done. But yeah, Rashford would be interesting if Rashford went to PSG, wouldn't it? That'd be interesting. And let's see what happens there. Spoiler, exact fee was 24 million in the end for Solanke. We waived a fee for a sell-on clause extension. Okay, interesting. Absolutely insane that Real Madrid can buy Mbappe and Haaland and have no FFP restrictions. I think, you know what it is? I think they've been very clever in the way they've done business. I don't think they haven't spent a huge amount of money, and their revenues are still huge. And they haven't spent I know they spent money on Bellingham and all, but you got to remember, I think the fee in the end for Bellingham was something like 80 or 85 million in the end. But they haven't spent huge money.
They put a lot of money. The money they have spent has gone into the stadium and stuff over the last few years, so they do have money there for a big signing like this,
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what the deal is like with Haaland. Is their release clause at Man City or whatever it is, and have they covered themselves in terms contractually and stuff like that? No. And then you got to remember, Mbappe is going to be there's no transfer fee, so we'll see what happens. But surely there'll be a huge signing on fee. Mbappe EAFC 25 cover in Madrid kit. You can see it there. There it is there already. Just slapped FIFA 25 on it. PSG could also buy Mo Salah for Mbappe replacement. I think if Mo Salah is leaving Liverpool, I think the only place he'll be going is the Saudi, because that's where we get the money. I don't see PSG matching the Saudi offer in any way, shape, or form, to be honest. And especially if they're going in for Rashford, I don't see it. But I still do think potentially Mo Salah could leave in the summer. I think it's going to be the end of an era in terms of Jurgen Klopp leaving on the back room and all, and I think that will have a kind of a knock-on effect, and it may be a question where Mo Salah decides to go as well. Who knows? Depends what way they want to play and stuff like that. Like we haven't even got the new manager sort of nailed down yet, even, so we don't even know what way we're going to play and what formation and all that kind of stuff, and also that could change decisions and stuff like that. But I think if a big offer comes in for Mo Salah at the age that he is, very, very difficult to replace him. He's been an absolute legend at the club, and to replace his goals and assists and everything he does would be very, very difficult. But look, if we give it another year, he might end up leaving on a free. How bad business would that be then, Crazy stuff, Spoiler, Real Madrid only spent 27 million euro in the financial year. They have a war chest, absolutely. They'd have no problem bringing in both. And I believe if you look at the financials on both deals, if they do it, I don't think they're still even anywhere near FFP. So very, very sure. They've been focusing on the stadium and all and stuff,
Definitely.
Right, let's talk Ireland manager, Chris Coleman.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, excuse me, throat is killing me tonight. I think Morris put it on the Thursday night or Thursday tier talk there a few weeks ago, and I said that 3 Mondays ago the FAI had gone over to Wales to meet him, and they had positive conversations and stuff like that. And my source, very close to the FAI, I was talking to earlier on, had said they met yesterday again, for even more talks. Hence the reason it's coming out today about it's going to snowball a bit. But I think there's still a little bit of to and fro about wage packets for backroom staff and stuff like that as well. Listen, he knows international football inside out. He took over the Wales job probably not under the circumstances that he would have chosen. Obviously, with Gary Speed passing away, he took over from his mate, got Wales up to 8th in the world, So he knows the international side of things inside out. Obviously, as you see there, his dad's from Dublin. Jack Charlton did call him back in the day and stuff like that and asked him to play for Ireland and then McCarthy as well and stuff. But obviously he chose to play for Wales and, where he was born and stuff, which, you can't take that away from the man. But I think, listen, is he one of the candidates that would jump off the page and say, yeah, straight away? To probably not. But I don't think there's, realistically, I would have loved a Cargy or Chris Hughton. It's not going to happen now. So I think he's the next best in line. I didn't want Lennon. I didn't want Roy Keane. So I think he'll do a decent job, and he knows a lot of the players from having been managed in England and still involved in in radio work and stuff like in the media and stuff like that over there. So I think
He
it'd be
he certainly doesn't lack any experience. I mean, he's had
definitely not.
experiences. He's managed teams and stuff like that and all. He managed Wales, and he obviously has good links and good scouting contacts and stuff like that in terms of players potentially to bring in, potentially declare for Ireland as well. And I think at the moment with where the squad is and stuff like that, and where we kind of are at the moment and stuff like that, I don't think it would do any harm to bring in a guy like Chris Coleman with a fresh set of eyes who could look at and stuff like that. Just to let you know, folks, full time 1-1, Everton 1, Crystal Palace 1, IU on 66, Onana on 84. A draw really not doing either team much good, to be honest. But sure, they'll live to fight another day. Let's see what happens. But yeah, it's the problem at the moment is, like, normally we'd be quite excited about the Ireland manager coming in and stuff like that, but it's hard to get up and get excited about it at the moment. And it'd be interesting as well to see as well, because obviously we drew England, didn't we, in the Nations League and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting with Coleman managing Ireland and stuff like that, So,
like I said, from the list that was there, I think he's the one with the most experience, especially in international football. He knows what's what as well. And like I said, there was more talks yesterday with the FEI, and apparently they were positive enough, bar the backroom staff wages and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jack is in Roy Keane or Robbie Keane. No, thank you. Don't think so. And neither, and certainly not both together. That's for sure. I don't see that happening. Yeah, no, that'd be crazy. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Roy, I think first of all, with Roy Keane, I'd miss him in punditry because I do like him as a pundit and stuff like that. I like him on telly. But I think the other side of it as well is, I think his management style, I think, is a bit antiquated at this stage. It's a bit old school, and it's a bit hard line and stuff like that. And I think you're dealing with a squad at the moment in Ireland that I would describe as being a little bit bruised and a little bit sore, that needs a little bit of cajoling and a little bit of kind of work on it and stuff like that. I don't think Keane's the guy to deliver that. Robbie Keane, I don't know, to be honest. I just, maybe in the future, but really definitely not now.
But I think with Roy, he has his cushy number with the media. He's doing the stick to football podcasts and stuff like that. So, he and on his days off, he's often seen down in Salford watching the boys down there. So I think he's enjoying life at the minute, spending more time with the family, and like I said, doing the media work. I can't see him going back into management.
Yeah. Sure. Look, if him and Mika Richards were to get divorced, everyone would be upset, wouldn't he? Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Unless you bring Roy Keane in and Mika Richards as number 2 or something like that.
That'd be something else.
But there
was talk of, going back to Coleman, there was talk of Anthony Barry maybe coming in as his number 2 if the Bayern Munich situation unfolds and stuff like that,
Yeah, let's see what happens there. Chat, let us know your thoughts on this City football group. Today, I said it I put it out there on Twitter. I said, while the rest of us are trying to sign players and get our transfer window in order for the summer, these guys are going out and buying clubs. They're going out and buying clubs.
Moving the players around.
Yeah, so they're after adding Istanbul, Başakşehir to the group. Now, when you look at who's in there group-wise and stuff like that, and you look at the teams, obviously Girona is doing an unbelievable job in La Liga this season and stuff like that. But you look, they're nearly pinning to nearly have a team in nearly every kind of continent league, positioning themselves globally and stuff like that. What do you make on this? Now, I know it's difficult for yourself as well. Ratcliffe's after coming in. He's after getting the approval, the 25% and all that kind of stuff. We obviously know he has a shareholding in Nice as well.
Nice, yeah.
And we know that the Premier League are trying to insert new rules in terms of, or tightening of the rules in terms of inter-club kind of transfer stuff. And obviously there's talk you guys are interested in Todibo or whatever he's called on Nice. And what would be a fair, how do they decide on a fair transfer fee when it goes into clubs of that? There's talk during the week there about the Savio deal and stuff like that.
It's one thing a lad having 25% investment that has investment in another club. Look at that list there. That's a different ball game altogether. Like, we've seen them using it before. Obviously, with Frank Lampard being at New York City that time in the close season, he goes over to Man City on loan and stuff to do a job for them. And obviously, to a certain extent, Forest are doing it now with players and stuff, you know, cancelling contracts, getting them free on a free for Forest to, you know, go around the financial fair play and stuff. How do you stop it like that? Look at the list there, cause that's ridiculous. It's like a monopoly board, you know. You're looking at Melbourne, New York, Yokohama, you know, Istanbul now. Obviously, when you think of Turkey, you think of Fenerbahce, Besiktas, Galatasaray, but they've been up there the last few years. So, there's some
Yeah.
decent players that they have there as well. I just think it's ridiculous. I think it makes a mockery of football. Like, you know, people can say it's business and all, but come on, that's ridiculous. It ruins the game altogether. Like,
Well, I suppose it's going to be interesting to see. The Girona one is an interesting one because obviously they're flying high in La Liga, doing
yeah,
really, really well this season. The manager's doing an outstanding job. And I have to say, when you look at Girona as well, where they've come from, I think they were 2 divisions down and they've come all the way right up to La Liga and leading La Liga until recent weeks, I think. But I think they've only had a net spend or something like of 63 million over those 3 seasons or something like that. So they haven't
tremendous.
spent huge bread either to
Yeah,
get there. It's not like the City Group is absolutely funneling money into them
yeah,
to blast them up there. A lot of it's got to do with the manager and the work that he's done has been outstanding. But yeah, I don't like this at all. To me, this kind of stinks because I just don't know how you control it. I don't know how the Premier League can create a set of rules and guidelines and absolutely oversee them and stuff like that. If
yeah,
City want to move a player from Istanbul to Man City, how do you decide on, you know, the fair fee and the transfer fee, and it's all above board? And then you look
yeah,
at City as well; they don't really want to give out their financial information. So how the hell do you really know what's going on? And
yeah,
it's just a mess. But the problem is they've opened up this can of worms and now they can't stop it. And
yeah,
the only thing that's going to happen there is you're going to see a lot more of this because other clubs are going to have to react to this now, you know, because this
yeah,
I have a funny feeling where this is going to get curtailed a little bit. This is going to become the new norm now where and I know for years people will argue and go, yeah, well, clubs always had feeder clubs and all that kind of stuff. They did, or they had links, like we bought players off Southampton and there was always
yeah,
that relationship there and that kind of stuff. I get that. That's fine. But that's above board proper business that's going on. If you have a feeder club, like, you know, Dortmund for years has been a selling club. Plenty of other clubs have been selling clubs and stuff like that and all. We've seen it with the Red Bull teams as well. They tend to create talent and they sell them on and stuff like that and all. But it's all kind of above board. It's not interchanging within a group, you know what I mean? So it's just, to me, I think it's something that has to be watched very, very carefully and stuff like that, you know?
100%. And
Because how far away are we from the next step where you own 2 clubs in the same league? You know what I
I
mean? Like
know that's
it's
the thing. Like, and I do know. Like, we're talking about Girona there and stuff like that. How they haven't spent, but I do know they've gotten players from the Barcelona academy, like up and
mm,
coming players.
yeah.
So it could be a situation. What happened at City? Families getting financial rewards for telling their sons to go here instead of there. You know, so there is stuff like that that you won't think like not exactly transfer fees. That's happened before with them. That wouldn't surprise me if it happened there as well.
Yeah, no, it's going to be something that the FA and the Premier League are going to have to really keep a tight lid on because it's just, for these guys with this level of wealth, it just seems relentless at the moment, and it just seems like that they have no regard for any of that. They don't care. It's just, this is what we're doing. What are you going to do to us at the end of the
Mm.
day? What are you going to do? It'll be interesting to see what comes out of this 115 charges and stuff like that, and whether anything seems to come out of it and stuff like that. I still have my doubts. Bank account unlimited funding, yeah, absolutely unlimited
I wish I
funding.
had that
So
myself.
look,
Eh?
don't be surprised with Istanbul now coming online that you don't get Turkish Airways as a sponsor on the sleeve or something like that, 100 million or whatever it is. You know, they use it like it's nah, not again, ban them. Yeah, absolutely. It's mad, isn't it, Jack? It's just, and it seems they're just allowed to do whatever they want. They steamroll the rules and they just don't care. You know what I mean? And it's, again, they're not necessarily breaking rules, but you can see in the nucleus of this what's evolving in it and stuff like
Evolving,
that.
yeah,
And
exactly.
we know how it's going to pan out in the end. We can see the end game. It's just the custodians of the game and the people who were supposed to keep it fair play and respect and all that kind of stuff. They don't seem to be able to see this end game. Their judgment seems to be clouded. So I don't know, really. I really don't know. Jota, a huge loss for 8 weeks. Jota would be a huge loss for 2 weeks, near alone 8 weeks. He's just a huge loss, full stop. He's been unbelievable this season when he's come in. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being linked with Bayern Munich manager's job. Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine how ironic that would be, because broke their hearts in '99 and they go to even take an interim position there.
I wonder how the fans would take
especially after seeing what he done for us,
Yeah, I wonder how the fans like. And then the thing about it is, if let's suppose they sack Tuchel this week and they bring Ollie in for the last 3-4 months of the season. Imagine he turns it around and he ends up winning the league against Leverkusen. Then do they change it?
Yeah.
It's just, he's on, he's on trial. But can you imagine Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being named interim manager for Bayern Munich?
Be crazy, wouldn't it?
Crazy.
Sure, it happened with us. Remember Rashford scoring the penalty against PSG in the last minute to get a shoot the next round of the knockout stage in Champions League, and he got the new contract and stuff like that then as well. So you never know.
I do think they need to make change though, because I think they're on the cusp. Like that result against, was it Lazio the other night or last week, where they lost 1-0?
Yeah, 1-0 in Champions League. Yeah,
scored a penalty. Yeah, so they still have a chance if they can get someone in and get Tuchel out. They still have a chance of turning that around at home, because I think that was the way, as far as I know. So,
and were they down to 10 men as well? I think
they were. Yeah, up Meccano, and then he went down 10 men again at the yesterday, wasn't it, against Bochum? He got sent off again. He got red carded yesterday again. They lost 3-1 to Bochum. Yeah.
Christ.
So that gap is opening now with Leverkusen, and they need to get their act together really, really quick. Looking forward to watching Inter Milan versus Atletico Madrid Champions League. Yeah, that'll be an absolute belter.
When's that, tomorrow night, is it?
I think it might be
Wednesday. I think Arsenal Porto or Wednesday, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Yeah, well then they're tomorrow night, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
I won't be watching Aces. There's only one game of football I'm watching tomorrow night. Live from Bloomfield Road.
Let them know.
Blackpool,
yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah. Actually, that PSV Dortmund game would be a good game as well. What's the other two on Wednesday? We got Arsenal and we got Napoli Barcelona. That'll be tasty as well. Big week of football this week on the European scene. Yeah, very interesting to see how that all pans out. Got to be looking at this throughout the Blackpool Rock.
Go on the Aces. Semi-final tomorrow against Peterborough.
What do you think after this weekend now? Obviously, Liverpool picking up a good win against Brentford. Arsenal really, really good against Burnley. Man City slipping up against Chelsea, getting a draw. What's your thoughts? Obviously, Brentford tomorrow now for Man City at home. And then we have Luton on Wednesday. Brentford have been a little bit of a bogey side for Man City at times.
They can be. I think because it's at home, it might be different. But yeah, they can be. But like you look at it, Bournemouth won't be easy away from home for them. They've also home, which I don't know. And we have gotten some good results over there the last few years. They've used away. Then Brighton and Arsenal and Villa. There's some tough games coming up. Like you look at Luton.
Those 5 games are a tough run, aren't they? And especially when 100%. You're in the midst of the Champions League again.
Exactly. Like you kind of look at it then, right? They've Palace away, Luton, right? But then Spurs, and you're looking at West Ham there, and it's difficult. Like for you, Luton and Forest should be 2 wins. Should be Forest away could be difficult in terms of, but you'd expect maybe to nick a goal and a win there. Obviously, the City at home game is going to be pivotal on the 10th of March, and then the Everton game away. As always, isn't it the last Merseyside derby in Goodison? There'll be a lot of emotion in that game, I'd say, as well. But you'd expect to pick something up there. But then after that, like if the likes of Sheffield United and stuff like that. So the momentum is obviously witches. It's just the injuries, how you prevail with the players coming in, and hopefully you don't get more. How you don't get more injuries on top of that as well,
Yeah, we can't afford anymore. It's now a case of kind of just managing our way through games at the moment and trying to get players back. That's what it's going to boil down to. And if we can do that, then we'll be okay. But if we get any more injuries, well, then may forget about it. We won't be able to withstand it.
And in fairness to Arsenal, they still have to play. I think it was Chelsea, City, ourselves, and Chelsea, City, ourselves,
Yeah.
and Spurs as well. So that's going to be difficult for them. They're 4 really tough games there. But listen, like I said to them, fair play. They're still in the mix. They're thereabouts, and they're picking up points and really, really kind of important results in terms of beating teams 5 and 6-0. It builds that confidence up and up. So I think
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting run in. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it on a weekly basis as these graphics change and stuff like that and all. But it's 13 games for us to go now.
Yeah,
Every game's going to feel like a cup final. I think there's
absolutely.
somewhat of a determination there to try and get it home for Klopp's last season. But
Yeah, of
I think the
course.
problem that will kill us potentially will be injuries. I think if we can't get guys back, we're going to run into real problems, and especially when the Europa League comes back as well. We're going to have that extra game every week as well,
Yeah,
and that's when we kind of flick in. We start playing Thursday, Sunday. Really, really difficult to do that as well, especially with a bare enough squad. So
that's
it'll be
it. And like
interesting to see.
you look at it since Klopp's made that announcement, and you look at the last game being at home, it's almost like fate, and you're obviously top of the league, but it's just you have to keep concentrating on your results and picking up those results
Game by
and
game,
not
game by game.
exactly not looking too far around you. I know I said it earlier about the lower league teams, the lower teams in the league looking not only their own results but the teams around them. I think just concentrating on your own results, your own performances, and try to
Mm.
see it over the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Daz, I finished 1-1. It was 1-0 to Crystal Palace, scored in the 66th minute, and Everton equalised in the 84th minute with Onana. So finished 1-1. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre opening Raw tonight should be interesting, absolutely. And Jimmy Uso causing Jay Uso Intercontinental Championship tonight as well. That'll be interesting as well. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow night is Pro Wrestling Weekly because Wednesday we have the Luton game at Liverpool to be covered. So Pro Wrestling Weekly will be tomorrow night, not Wednesday. Make sure you know about that. I'll also be back on Thursday with Dazzler as always. And I'll also Friday probably do a preview for the Carabao Cup final. Might be able to slide in a Luton preview tomorrow. Yeah, might do it on the way home in the car, do a drive time one or something like
Are
that to
we
try and
getting
squeeze that
a
in as well.
certain Ian Kelly on for the preview for the Carabao Cup final?
I'm not too sure. I have to speak to him about it. I might be able to get him on Friday. See what happens. If not,
Happy days. That'd be good.
as we do, we'll run solo because we're part of the bloodline. That's the way it goes. But yeah, so that's it. Great show as always. Make sure, folks, you're tuning into all the channels that are there. You see Helen, Henry's channel is back, obviously.
Definitely.
Make sure you check out Spider. Spider does all the Liverpool stuff, plus football, plus gaming and all that stuff. Check out Jack on Anfield Road TV, cracking Liverpool site, also covering a bit of football now as well. So
And
all the channels.
when Morris sobers up, go over
Morris.
to his channel.
Yeah, when Morris sobers up, he'll come on and he'll tell us all these stories about being in Fozzie's dressing room and stuff like that. That should
I'm
be
looking
interesting.
forward to it, man.
Make sure
I'm
you're
looking
checking
forward
out
to it.
his channel as well. But plenty to talk about. We have a great show planned for tomorrow night, the road to the Elimination Chamber. You'll like it, Marky. This Saturday, 10 a.m., coming from Perth in Australia. So you can get up, have your breakfast, and watch the Elimination Chamber.
Happy
Um,
days. And I'm off. I'm
I'm,
off every weekend now, so I can do what I
I,
want.
I'm not sure that is when Morris is live next. He normally does. He do one on a Monday? I'm not too sure. He's been banging it. He probably hasn't got one tonight because he's recovering from the weekend, unless he shot footage with Fozzie or something like that. So he'll let you know. But check out his channel anyway as well. Absolutely. But until next time, cuz an absolute pleasure. Make sure, folks, don't forget Hogan Elite Trophy here. Make sure you give Mark all your support over there on the trophy side of things.
Definitely, lads.
Also, make sure you're subscribing to the channel here, hitting the bell notification button, dropping a like to the video, all that good stuff. I'll be back tomorrow night for an hour Pro Wrestling Weekly. Just to let you know as well, folks, tomorrow night is my birthday, and I'm still bringing you Pro Wrestling Weekly. Don't forget that. So back
And
again,
all the love in the comments there, lads.
25 tomorrow. 25 tomorrow.
Jesus.
So
you
when
don't
you,
look 23.
so where are you working now, Mark? Asos wants to know, where are you now?
Aces, you won't believe it, but I'm back with the Chippendales. Yeah, they kept pestering me to come back to them, and yeah, I said,
Magic Mike.
yeah. No, I'm working on sites and stuff now. Yeah, data technician. So yeah, I have the weekends also. Can watch as much football as I want.
There you
Just
go.
has
And
to
that's
answer the
just for
phone.
you, just to let you know, tomorrow night I have a lovely selection from pro wrestling history lot of Sting's matches in there. I told you last week, this week we'll be focusing a lot on Sting. So just to let you know, if you're a Sting fan, you'll want to tune in tomorrow night, 8:30 for that show, as far as I know, folks. But until next time, have a safe evening. Enjoy bigger money, bigger money. There you go. It wasn't about bigger money, Acers. It was about quality time with the family.
Exactly. More time at home with the kids. That's what it's all about.
Cheers, folks. Talk to you again soon.
Cheers, guys.